Welcome back. You're watching Creating Cooperative Kids, and I'm your host, Bill Corbett. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services reports that there were over 144,000 children in the U.S. foster care system waiting to be adopted in 2009 alone. So what is the agency in some states that are actively finding homes for these children? With me today is someone who could tell us a little more about this. Ken Mysogland is the Director of Foster and Adoptive Services and has been working at the Connecticut Department of Children and Families for over 22 years. Welcome to the show, Ken.
Thank you, Bill. It's great to be here. It's great to talk about foster care and adoption.
Now, you've obviously been doing this a long time. What kind of changes have you seen over the years with the whole adoptive system?
Well, I think what we want to really realize is that each and every day more kids come into the system that are in need of permanent loving homes. And I think the changes that have occurred over time is that we realize there's no perfect family for our kids. We want people who love kids. It doesn't matter the constellation of your family. It doesn't matter two-parent, single-parent, your gender identity, your house, your neighborhood, your level of income. If you love kids, if you want to nurture kids, if you want to bring kids into your home, we absolutely need you now more than ever.
So what we're going to do on this segment, Ken, is you've provided us with some images of kids who are ready for adoption.
Absolutely.
They're looking for homes. So I'm going to ask the control room to go ahead and put them up a couple of seconds at a time so we can get as many of these children in as we possibly can.
That's great.
And underneath the image of the kids is a number where people can find out information right away.
Right. We always say to people that even if you have an interest in learning more about the foster care and adoption system, we want you to pick up the phone, even right now, and dial 1-888-KID-HERO, or look us up on the website ctfosteradopt.org. Right now we have over 4,800 children in out-of-home care in the state of Connecticut. About 3,200 of them are in actually foster and adoptive homes. So 3,200 children are actually in family-like settings. Most importantly, we want to continue to recruit relatives. We know that at the time a child has to be removed from their home, that is absolutely one of the most traumatizing periods of time in their entire life. There's no better place for kids than, of course, with people that they know, hence their relatives. So children, as they move through our system, at first we want to look to relatives, and then what we call core foster and adoptive families, those individuals who are not related to children, but certainly have a real vested interest in providing care. And some of the images that you see here on the screen now are our children that we call are part of our heart gallery. Those are the children that are awaiting adoption and are the hardest for us to place into adoptive homes. Certainly children with specialized needs, children that are part of sibling groups, infants and adolescents are the highest groups that we need to target for foster and adoptive homes.
Now, can these children be adopted across state lines?
Yes, they can, actually. Okay. And again, anybody who's interested in adoption, again, by virtue of looking on our website or calling the 888-KID-HERO number, you can also find additional resources where children are available to be adopted, both in Connecticut and across state lines. And likewise, some of these children that you see are posted on national adoption websites, and individuals from other states could have an interest in adopting these children upon learning from them. But certainly Connecticut has a number of children that wait and a number of children that need permanent loving homes.
So if you see a child that you're interested in, something, we're visual people. You see a child, go, oh my gosh, I would love to have that child. Now, a lot of times people say, well, one day we'll be in a position. So is that really a one day, or what's the condition that that you could bring a child into your home as an adoptive family?
What's interesting is some statistics say that people think about fostering and adopting children and then within the next couple of years actually pick up the phone and make that call because it kind of has to settle in. I look at that and I say a child's sense of time moves very quickly, much different than an adult's sense of time. And the longer I think we wait with, quote, our idea about fostering and adopting, and we don't pick up the phone, the longer a child out there is waiting to actually come into your home. Our kids can't wait. And the best thing that foster and adoptive parents do for children is they establish a level of permanency. Children know at the end of the day where they're going to rest their head. They know who's going to take care of them. They know who's going to love them. They know who's going to nurture them. The quicker a child understands that and feels that, the better their cognitive, emotional, behavioral, all of their characteristics all across the spectrum are going to be dramatically improved. And our kids, when we really look at them, when they go home, if in fact they wind up going home to their parents, and over 60% of our kids do, they go home more resilient, stronger, and have a better capacity to learn and grow as children and young adults. And you can imagine how that's amplified when a child then is placed with you permanent-wise for adoption.
What about physical conditions? Do I have to wait until I have a certain kind of bedroom, a play area, a fenced-in yard? Is there any physical conditions to having a home for a child?
Absolutely not. That's actually one of the big misnomers that we're really trying to dispel as our work gets out to promote foster care and adoption. If you love kids, and I can't say this enough, pick up the phone, call us, check us out on our website. We will figure out what your house looks like. We will make amends and work with you on the number of children, the type of child that you think you would do well with, the type of child we think you would do well with. Don't worry about the amount of money you make. Don't worry about what your house looks like. Don't worry about the size of your yard or lack thereof. If you have an interest in caring for what I consider society's most vulnerable and oppressed children, please pick up the phone and call us. Each year, our Child Abuse and Neglect Hotline receives over 90,000 calls pertaining to child abuse and neglect, of which about 40,000 of those calls wind up being new reports of abuse and neglect. As we sit here today doing this interview, and as we sit here today as you've done your show, our hotline probably would have taken 20 or 30 additional calls. We, as this program is running, I would argue, have investigators out in our field checking on the safety of kids. So as each minute, each hour, each day goes by, more kids are in need of permanent, stable, loving homes.
So even if people have a question, they should consider at least picking up the phone and calling that number and say, look, I've been thinking about it. And the people are ready to answer their questions, not necessarily about the child they might see, but can I do it and what does it take and that kind of thing.
Sure. What does it take? Is there what is a training requirement?
Training, is there paperwork?
You know, there's basic background checks, both criminal and through our Child Protective Services registry. We will come and do a visit to your house. Not that we're looking for exactly that everything is in the right place, but is it conducive to placing a child in at the current time? We also want people to know that when a child is placed with you, the department will provide you both a medical and a financial subsidy for that child according to their age. And then even after you adopt a child, depending on that child's circumstances, that subsidy and that medical insurance and that coverage could continue throughout the rest of that child's childhood while placed with you.
Excellent. So I'm sure we've given folks a lot of important information. Thank you so much for being here and helping
Thank you very much.
understand.
We appreciate the opportunity.
I appreciate that. Okay, I receive emails, letters, and even phone calls from across the country, all from parents in desperate need to help with their children. In the next segment of the show, I will select one of those common questions and provide some answers for anyone who may be dealing with the same or similar issues. Stay with me through the break to learn about some tips on handling tantrums and what to do when the kids won't go to their timeout. We'll be right back.